We actually met on Facebook. He sent me a message with this cheesy line, have I seen you before? And I replied, and we just kept talking after that. He was amazing when we first met. I mean, we went on a first date to Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster and then to a haunted house because we're both obsessed with fall and Halloween. And he was so nice and charming and attentive to everything that I was saying, and we just connected on a level that I've never connected with anyone before. I mean, it was perfect first date. Early on in the relationship, it was like a fairy tale. He was Prince Charming. He cared about everything that was me. He wanted to know about my family, my past, my passions, what made me happy, and he was so invested in everything and was excited about the things that I was excited about, and at first so encouraging about me wanting to be a doctor and going to school. And he was so respectful and loved everyone, all of my friends, and tried to be respectful to them, and would send me flowers all the time and write notes or send me texts just to tell me he was thinking of me or how much he loved me, and was really vulnerable in the beginning of the relationship about his past or the things that he struggled with, and wanted to know more about God and go to church and just everything I could have ever wanted in a guy. My family loved him almost just as much as I did. We would hang out with my parents a lot. I got closer with my parents by dating him because we were always over there. He didn't have a close family growing up, and so he loved mine, and he was like a son to them. We would go over for dinner, he'd cook them dinner. He would go to my family gatherings and play with all the kids, and was just Mr. Charming, perfect. It was like having a perfect family. Early on in the relationship, I don't remember that many things that made me ever doubt his sincerity in who he was. I think that if someone had told me early on, within the first few months of our relationship, that he would end up being abusive, I would have laughed in their face and said there's no way, because he was perfect. Right before we got engaged, he started to be more controlling, and he started to drink more. And he would get angry, and we would fight, and he would do little pushes here or shoves there or not let me leave rooms. He would start to control everything that I did. He went from praising me and being supportive to tearing me down and telling me that I wasn't good enough or that I needed to work out more. Controlling what I ate. He started not liking my friends. I wasn't allowed to do anything without him. It was just a complete, almost 180 from the beginning. I ended the relationship when I could no longer deny the things that I'd been putting off for so long. We were coming home from a night of hanging out with my friends, and on the way home, in typical fashion of his, he decided to put me down, and because I had a few drinks at the bar, tell me that I wasn't a good Christian and that other girls he knows are better than me. And I finally just had enough, and I said, you know what, you're not coming into my house. He didn't like that, and he decided to break the door and make his way into my house and kept trying to grab me and hug me, and I just slapped him and said, get away from me, which caused him to throw me to the ground and call me names, tell me that I better never touch him again. And I was screaming, kicked him off me, ran away, and my roommate came out from hearing me scream as he had his hands around my neck. And at that point, they made him leave, and I couldn't go back. He normally would apologize for things like that, would be very apologetic, but this time there was a long enough gap between when he decided to come back around and apologize that I gained enough strength to walk away. Since ending the relationship, I think some of the hardest parts is trying to decipher reality from what was in my brain. and getting over a lot of the emotional abuse. It's easy to let the bruises fade, but letting all the emotional scars still stay with you. And when someone tells you who you are for so long, brings you down for so long, it's easy to believe it. And having to let go of that and try and rebuild your strength is hard. And I think the hardest part has been just mourning the loss of the relationship, because you have to realize that they're not the person you thought they were. And you plan on spending your life with them and loving them so much despite everything, and then it's gone. And you have to figure out a way to rebuild. Pretty much everyone has been supportive in ending the relationship. My mom especially has been so supportive in a way that's non-judgmental and is still there at those times when I'm like, but I miss him, I love him, like I don't want to walk away. And I think everyone has been really good at looking at me where I'm at and my struggles and making sure that I know that that wasn't love and that wasn't what respecting someone in a relationship is, and trying to teach me a different way to handle things than I had before. I would say if you're struggling in an abusive relationship, to talk to someone about it, to break the silence, to not keep letting what's going on just be dealt with in your head. It's helpful when you can talk to someone, maybe a counselor or a friend, someone who doesn't have a biased opinion, that can give you clarity. Because when you're in it, you tend to let your love for the person override what your head might sometimes tell you. Also, if you're in an abusive relationship and you're like me, you might not want to leave because you think it's unloving or it makes you weak. But I can say that sometimes tough love is the best love. And when you stay, sometimes it only enables the person into thinking that their behavior is acceptable. And when you walk away, it lets them know that you can't treat people like that and that you deserve respect. And it gives them the opportunity to change. And then it gives you the freedom to heal. And I don't think that that makes you weak. I think it makes you really strong.